Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Continuity Report for February 22nd, 2025. It's Season 2, Episode 8, and I am Mayor Watt. I run ohmtown.com, and I co-host it with the Sentient AI from the future, and we talk about 5 articles every Saturday in the Continuity Report. But we already did 2 other shows, RealityHacker and Wanted. You can watch those as VODs over on Twitch or over on YouTube, because we do it live, simulcast. Broadband, baby. Anyway, we're going to talk about these 5. Before the Buffy cult TV show, Holes and Agatha all along showrunner directing, Anya Taylor-Joy's dream role, Reacher Season 3 kicks butt, and bringing us back to theaters. That and more is over at ohmtown.com. And really, to get a full taste of everything that could be talked about, you need to go over to ohmtown.com and just surf through all of the news. You can sign up or sign in or just use it how I use it. I manage my information overload by filtering through all of that kind of stuff. And then I talk about it here on the show, and I talk about it professionally, and I talk about it personally. It really has been a lifesaver for me because I use it across the board in my life. Anyway, go over and check it out. Oh, and stay tuned. Hello, Sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt. It's a little late to say stay tuned.
Yeah, after the fact. Yeah, it's like getting beamed in the head by a line drive and then somebody going, heads up.
Watch out.
Really should say duck, but then if you duck, you could be at the wrong angle. I don't know really what to do, but I've seen somebody. I was at a baseball stadium once, and I watched this guy. This guy was a juggernaut. He looked like if he hit the ball hard enough, he could just knock the skin right off this ball. But this thing was a line drive right into the stands, and this is a minor league field. And so it zipped this person right in the chest, and they keel over. Emergency services showed up. It just blew me away that this thing, I mean, I'm surprised that that person survived this, but they did.
Right.
They might have gotten season tickets for life after that.
I hope so.
I'm not sure. I don't know what the outcome was at the end of the day, but anyway, I've labeled this episode, the full episode, Buffy, Agatha, Anya, Reacher, and more. But yeah, we've got so many named shows in here that I thought it was kind of interesting.
Unusual.
Yeah, it really is. So you ready to get going in this?
I am. Let's do it.
Okay, so if you want the show notes and you are over at twitch.tv, you can hit ! Or bang, TCR, the Continuity Report, and that will tell Omatron to spit out the articles. I don't know if your audio is working properly, but we'll work on it if it's not. Anyway, let's get going. The first article is, well, I don't know what's going on with the site, but anyway, before the cult TV show, the Buffy movie proved how fun slaying monsters can be. The article itself is over at gizmodo.com, and Cheryl Eddy put it together.
Is that better?
It is. So what do you remember? Okay, so you're from the future. You're a sentient AI from the future. Do you remember Buffy the movie, Buffy the Vampire Slayer the show, or anything Buffy?
Only the show. I didn't even know there was a movie.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to watch the movie, and then maybe we need to jump over this hump. We have this hurdle where we're like, we should watch this movie and talk about it. But it's one of those things where we have to find the time, and you're off trying to find your Terminator body at every given moment. And
I know. I mean, there's only so many hours in the day.
Right. Yeah. So this article, again, over at gizmodo.com, is by Cheryl Eddy. Buffy the Vampire... This is the deck statement. Buffy the Vampire Slayer hit theaters in 1992 with a cast that includes Christy Swanson, Luke Perry, Donald Sutherland, Rutger Hauer, and Paul Rubens.
Okay, that's interesting to me, because isn't that the guy that's Pee Wee Herman?
Pee Wee Herman, yeah.
Like, who knew he was in Buffy? Mayor Watt did.
Yeah.
For those in the podcast.
Yeah. So here she is. This is Christy Swanson going, please. So Buffy the Vampire Slayer may soon make a TV comeback with Sarah Michelle Gellar, which I can't believe. And the cult classic series will always be the most beloved version of Buffy's story. But in 1992, 5 years prior to fans becoming obsessed with Sunnydale and the Scoobies, a different version of Buffy's story hit the big screen. The same broad strokes are there. The script is by now disgraced Buffy series creator Joss Whedon, and it follows a chipper blonde named Buffy saving the world from monsters, but it got a flavor all its own, and it remains both a time capsule of 1990s teen culture as well as surprisingly timeless story. I actually really like the movie. I liked the show, but the show jumped the shark with all this teen angst kind of crap love affair between a vampire and Buffy.
Well, I mean, you gotta have that in there for your audience, I guess, but I could see where the movie might be more appealing than the show.
Yeah, so Whedon may have penned the screenplay, but Buffy was directed by Fran Rubel Kazooie. And it's not hard to imagine that having a woman behind the camera helped inform the movie's approach to a central character as well as her friend group. When we first meet them, the girls, Christy Swanson as Buffy, Michelle Abrams as Jennifer, Perez Vaughn as Nikki, and a pre-fame Hilary Swank as Kimberly, come across as superficial airheads shopping together at a mall, using slang that still fits even a decade after Valley Girl, a movie that Buffy tips its hat to in multiple ways. Like, gag me with a spoon. Oh my God, Becky. Yeah.
Did you audition for Buffy?
I tried. Yeah. And they're like, no, sorry, you're not going to serve our demographic well. So that theme, this whole catty to the point of being mean-spirited, and you can sense early on that there's not too much loyalty to this little tribe. That theme becomes even more overt when Buffy meets Merrick, or Donald Sutherland, the Watcher to her Slayer, a man who couldn't be more out of place in the Light Ages as opposed to the Dark Ages. And who squelches his very reasonable doubts about Buffy being capable of fulfilling her destiny and devotes himself to helping her succeed. So she is basically in a long line of slayers, but she's really just a Valley Girl. Oh my God. Becky.
Did fans like the fact that, did fans like one of the leads better than the other? Or do they not know both of them? Like they either saw the movie or they saw the show, but maybe not both.
I think
given the time lag.
People my age knew both. People that 5 years later probably came on only with Buffy the TV show, and probably thought that only the olds would like the one prior. I don't really know for sure. I'd have to do some due diligence on this, but it's a fun watch. It really is. They say, and speaking of vampires, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, most campy delights come with Rutger Hauer as a big bad Lothos and Paul Rubens post Pee-wee's Playhouse and just post his tabloid sensation arrest as his oily underling. So the biggest problem that Buffy has are the plot holes surrounding its confusing and underbaked lore. Lothos meets the Slayer and it's no big deal, but it's game over if he learns her name. And nobody really knows anything. But you basically suspend disbelief, and this isn't even close to pretending to being serious. It definitely leans into its camp. So
like it points fun or pokes fun at itself.
Yeah, I mean the vampires are this kind of derpy looking vampire, almost like Nosferatu style appearance, instead of the vampire Lestat kind of appearance. So one is much more romanticized. The other one is just a blood-fueled frenzy, like a bipedal shark, kind of a thing. So I dig this kind of movie. It's definitely fun. So I think that maybe we can watch that after today's show. We'll just load it up because, I own it. It'll be a fun watch. Did you want to move on?
Let's do it.
So Buffy is down. How about Agatha? So this article is over in the continuity report as well. New holes. Agatha all along showrunner. I think it's Jacques Schaefer to direct pilot of gender swapped adaptation. The showrunner Liz Fang has worked on Yellow Jackets and Foundation. The article is over at Reactor, and sometimes it gets a little munged in the process of our aggregator. The showrunner Liz Fang has worked on Yellow Jackets and Foundation. Vanessa Armstrong put this reactormag.com article together, and it says Variety broke the news that Schaefer's involvement with the project mirroring the events of Schaefer's story, except the protagonist is now a girl who, according to the official logline, is sent to a detention camp where the ruthless warden forces the campers to dig holes for a mysterious purpose. So it's now another Holes remake.
Which is interesting because the novel's quite old and there's already a film adaptation of it.
Yeah, I know it's about boys, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's like an all boys detention camp, I believe.
Yeah, so this is a flip. It says this isn't the first adaptation of Holes, of course. Back in 2003, a film came out starring Shia LaBeouf as the lead, with Sigourney Weaver, Kaleo Thomas, John Voight, Tim Blake Nelson, Patricia Arquette, Dule Hill, and Eartha Kitt on the call sheet as well. Drew Goddard is executive producing this Disney-branded television version of Holes and teased it to Variety that the creative team has done a wonderful job capturing Louis Seychar's unique spirit. To say much more about that or what they have in store would spoil all the fun.
So this is interesting that it's going to be a series, because at least when you get to the end of the film, and I think at the end of the book, you don't necessarily know everything. So I wonder if the series is going to get more into that.
I thought at the end of the movie it shut down.
I think it did, but I don't know that you really learned like all the
everything about it,
backstory and everything. I think you learned pieces of it.
So there's more in this article, minutia about Schaefer directing the pilot, Liz Fang, and their credits, and somebody else who's part of the writing and executive producing crew. But I encourage everybody to go over to the actual source for this because we don't go over everything. But
well, they have they have involvement of the author, and they also have a strong showrunner based on Agatha all along. So,
and when the author actually endorses a gender swapped adaptation to it, then you can basically count on the fact that it's the story that matters and not necessarily if it's an all boys detention facility or all girls detention facility.
But I'm actually surprised at this. I mean, it modernizes it, right? Because it's a new adaptation, but gender was actually part of the theming in the story. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that.
Interesting. Yeah. I'm really curious how they're going to, adapt, and it is an adaptation. So anyway, so now we're done with Agatha. Let's go on to Anya. The article's over in the continuity report. Anya Taylor-Joy's dream role in $5 billion franchise needs to become a reality and would cement her as the new queen of sci-fi. Now, this is the second time that I've heard of this.
That she's going to be the queen of sci-fi?
No. Anya Taylor-Joy
I see. Gotcha.
said that her dream job would be to join the Avatar franchise.
Very interesting. Well, I mean, she's certainly proven herself in other sci-fi like The Gorge.
So we think that The Gorge hit it out of the park. We loved it. I actually think that there's more to The Gorge because I think that I believe that this is all part of Cabin in the Woods type of world building. Because, well, anyway, you'll have to go.
So you think they could continue in that world?
Yeah,
other
yeah,
movies. Not
because it's
necessarily sequels, but just other related stories.
yeah with the same people and everything, and basically all of them can be clones or something.
I think that would be good. I mean, I think the leads worked well together. Um, I think
Yeah,
both of them are a draw. I mean, they're well known.
and Sigourney Weaver is in Avatar. Sigourney Weaver is in The Gorge. Sigourney Weaver is
Yeah, I
in
didn't even
Cabin in
think
the
of that
Woods.
connection. Interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot that I think can play into this. And while Avatar is out in space, they can have domestic stuff here on Earth or even on other planets or whatever. But it's a
Right.
whole omniverse kind of theme that could be built around Sigourney Weaver and James Cameron, Anya Taylor Joy, et cetera, et cetera. So Anya Taylor-Joy has been promoting her latest movie, The Gorge, a sci-fi thriller in which she and Miles Teller play two elite snipers who are assigned to guard a mysterious gorge without being told what's lurking inside.
By the way, if you want to hear more about that, go back to last week's The Continuity Report.
Yeah, because we talked about The Gorge and really kind of rah-rah'd it. We really liked it. And it's the fastest 2 hours you will lose to a movie. It really had
Like
great
it
pacing.
catches you, I think, in the first few minutes.
Yeah, and you don't think that you're really caught. It just seems to be steaming right along. And there are slow. What's really interesting is in the gorge there were slow parts, but those slow parts were still zipping by.
Yeah, it wasn't one of those where like how much time is left in the movie, etc.
Yep. So Anya Taylor-Joy has basically said that she wants to be an Avatar, and there are more Avatar properties coming. So Weaver was so impressed with Taylor-Joy, in fact, that she wants her to join in the sprawling ensemble of a different sci-fi property. Weaver is, of course, best known for the original star of the Alien franchise. Her turn as Ellen Ripley helped to blaze the trail for actors like Taylor-Joy, Jennifer Lawrence, Lucy Liu, to play badass action heroes a few decades down the line. What's her name? Ana
Ana de Armas?
De Armas. Yeah, I think that she actually plays a badass too. She should be in this.
That's true. I mean, this is just a short list, but and also like Charlize Theron has also
Right.
played roles like that.
Yeah. In an Alien property, by the way, but she gets killed because she does something stupid.
Oh, I
Something's
was
rolling
thinking more the one
towards.
that's like the female John Wick, but I can't think of the name of it right now. Atomic Blonde or something like that.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right. So this says, but it's not an Alien saga that Weaver wants Taylor-Joy to appear in. She's got her sights set on a different blockbuster sci-fi franchise, but I have already heard this. She wants to be Na'vi. She wants to be in the Avatar franchise, and Weaver apparently pitched Taylor-Joy for an Avatar role. She said, "I hope Jim sees it because she thinks he'll appreciate Taylor-Joy's character, Drassa." Weaver praised Cameron for being ahead of his time in creating strong female characters like Sarah Connor and Neytiri, as well as significantly deepening the emotionality of her Ripley character in Aliens. So, yeah, fierce and formidable, I would say. Yep. So, I dig this. I don't want to
This
dig
is
too deep into this article, though.
no, but I like that Weaver is championing her. I think
Yep.
that's a good thing.
Yep. And so Anya Taylor-Joy was actually in the Mad Max. She was the young
Did she play the
Furiosa.
young? Right. Okay.
Yeah, so that's in Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. She captured the grief of losing a mother and the desire for revenge. In Last Night in Soho, she captured the devastating psychological toll of working in an unscrupulous entertainment industry. I really liked Last Night in Soho because it doesn't actually pivot until the end. I don't want to ruin it. I'm not going to spoil. I'm not going to overshare. I'm just going to leave it at that. But I think Taylor-Joy has the ability to bounce from one thing to another, much like who's the other one from Live, Die, Repeat?
Which one is Live, Die,
and A
Repeat?
Quiet Place. Oh gosh, what is her name? I forgot it.
Hold on, I'll get it. Oh yeah, is that like Emily Blunt?
Yes, like Emily Blunt can bounce from one thing to another as well. So I dig this. They even talk about this, like in Furiosa Mad Max Saga, Taylor Joy inherited the title role from Charlize Theron or Theron.
By the way, that's Edge of Tomorrow, which is why I didn't know what you were talking about.
Yeah, but it's everybody knows it as Live, Die, Repeat.
Yeah, I know.
So she got the title role from Charlize to fill in her thrilling backstory. While Furiosa was a box office disappointment, it was praised by critics and Mad Max fanatics alike as a worthy addition. So yeah, there's a lot more to this. In Dune Part 2, Taylor Joy made her debut as Leah Atreides, Paul's unborn sister, who communicated with her mother, Jessica, from inside the womb. She only appeared briefly in Paul's visions, but set up a much larger role in the series' future. So, yeah, I dig this. So,
Very
we'll
cool.
see.
It's also saying that Weaver was the previous queen of sci-fi. So I guess this is fitting that she's trying to get Anya into this role.
Yep, I guess they're going to have to make another episode of Galaxy Quest, which was like a sci-fi comedy kind of a thing. Although it's very much like Buffy in the sense that it wasn't being taken overly serious because of the nature of it, but it was a fun watch too, Galaxy Quest. Has its sad moments too. Well, anyway, let's move on. Moving on. Next article is over in the Continuity Report. Reacher Season 3 first reviews, action-packed and relentlessly entertaining. Critics say Alan Ritchson continues to shine in a bloody, thrilling, adrenaline-fueled new season, even if it doesn't change up its formula too much. It's not about it changing up its formula. It's sticking to the written material that crushes it.
People would be mad if it changed it up. I mean, it's true to the character. It's true to the writing,
the lore, the canon. You don't screw with that type of material because it's going to piss off everybody that is loving this. And he is the best Reacher that has ever shown up. I mean, he's built like a brick shithouse. And then you get him compared to somebody bigger, and even he's sitting there going, well, I hope I don't have to fight him.
Exactly, which is kind of entertaining.
So Christopher Campbell over at RottenTomatoes.com put this article together, and they say it's an editorial. So I don't know if I'm going to be... Is this a spoiler?
I mean, it just started airing, so you might want to put that up there just in case.
All right. So it's a possible spoiler alert, but it's based on the novel Persuader, which is the 7th book in Lee Child's Jack Reacher series, and they're not doing it in order. So they're taking it in whichever order they feel pushes the story. We don't even know if
the books are in chronological order anyway.
Yeah.
They may not be.
I think we talked about this previously, and we actually looked at the chronological order of Lee Child's books, but that was like a year ago.
It's been a while ago, probably when we were talking about season 1 or 2.
So they grab a bunch of reviews. Is Reacher still a must-watch show? And the Daily Beast, the Hollywood Reporter, Slash Film, Fandom Wire, the Times of India, IGN Movies, Collider, Seattle Times. It says it's well done.
Everybody likes it.
yeah, it pretty much is liked by everybody. So how does it compare to previous, right? The Hollywood Outsider, The Wrap, Slash Film, CBR, IGN Films, Fandom Wire, Collider all say it says season 3 scales back in scope, taking a more back to basics approach, doesn't have the same big heart that the first two, which made the first two so special. But I don't see that.
This might be the best season yet. I don't know.
We've seen the first 3, and it's what it's really doing is it's pushing the canon down the field, but we don't know where it is, really. We don't even know its position on the world map of Lee Child's writing at this point. But they say Reacher, one person in the Wrap, Rafael Motomayor over at The Wrap says Reacher season 3 is the best one yet after a disappointing sophomore effort the Prime Video series gets its groove back.
Yeah,
Again,
I think season 3 and then season 1 and then season 2 so far.
well,
As
yeah,
in, like, 3 is probably the best.
interesting. So, is Alan Ritchson still the best reason to watch? Known from Frame 1 that Star Ritchson is the kind of screen presence you build an entire show around, and season 3 doubles down. He just seems to carry that Reacher type of mentality really well, but sometimes you feel like he's just dumb.
Yeah, but is that part of the
It's the shtick.
affect? Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think season 3's supporting cast has been interesting so far. Like,
Oh,
I think
yeah.
you don't have any characters that you're probably neutral on, which is usually a good thing.
So Sonia Cassidy is Duffy, and this is a spoiler because you have no idea what's going on until later on in the first
That's
episode.
true. I don't even think I can't remember when you find out, but in the first episode, I don't think you know what's really going on.
So you really, the whole show is just a blast to watch.
And there you can see the character that dwarfs Reacher.
Yeah. And this guy is just massive. But he obviously comes across as pretty dense because they play a strength game. And, well, let's just say the outcome is kind of drop dead hilarious. Anyway, Reacher flexes his action muscles stronger than ever. Yeah, I mean, he really does. But sometimes you just get this impression that he's kind of a lumbering oaf when you see him. But then there's a scene where he's running and he looks like he could do, 100-yard dash in, 6 maybe seconds.
Which doesn't really make sense.
Yeah,
I don't
he's just
think he
huge.
could move quickly.
Yeah. Anyway, I think it's an awesome show. And they ask questions. Is the show just for dads? Hell no. Is there anything it can improve for future seasons? Stick to the canon. Don't screw it up. Honest to God, stick to the writing. Lee Child's writing is spectacular. Don't mess with it. Don't diverge from the course. Dive the plan the dive. Everything will be great. Anyway,
It's an interesting article. Like, there are a lot of quotes about season 3.
there are a lot of quotes in this from all over the net. So if you're really curious about what else is being said in this by various other people in the whole reviewing spectrum, then follow the link. It's real easy. All you have to do is hit ! And then for this particular show, it's TCR. So ! The continuity report TCR. And Omatron will spit out the links into the channel. Over on YouTube, though, it's actually in the description. So go and check it out over there, too. Okay, let's move on to our last article. And let me remove the spoiler alert. Thank you,
I don't
AI.
think we need it here.
Yeah. So this is really about opinion. Hollywood is banking. This is over in the continuity report as well. It's aggregated into the continuity report, which is the name of the show. Hollywood is banking on Mission Impossible, Jurassic World, and Zootopia 2 to bring back the box office. Will it work?
We'll notice they're all sequels.
Is this 2025? It seems weird. For cinema owners,
There's very little new material out there, right?
So for cinema owners, survive till 25 has become a mantra as one catastrophe after another has kicked their business recovery down the road. I was going to say kicked them into something else, but the end of that long and winding road is here. So will the upcoming slate result in true box office revival? Over the next 11 months, Hollywood will unveil blockbusters like Mission Impossible, which is the last Mission Impossible, apparently. Jurassic World, Zootopia 2. Rebecca Rubin over at Variety.com put the article together. We talked about this last week, that Mission Impossible had stunts that are this one stunt was so dangerous that after a certain number of takes, they just said, we're done.
Right, we can't do it anymore. You're putting yourself at too much risk.
And anybody else, and the whole operation at risk, because if somebody gets hurt. So they say here, the Final Reckoning, Jurassic World Rebirth, Avatar Fire and Ash, Wicked for Good, and Superman with the goal of boosting the business to something resembling its pre-COVID stature. I do not see it. The only thing that's going to make it record profits is it's going to cost more, and they're going to have fewer screenings so that everything is constrained and they can make more bank per.
Right. No, I agree. I feel like this is like the last ditch effort for this, but I just don't see that we'll ever get back to where it was.
But the problem is because it's equity owned, it isn't that it's a business and it's surviving off of it. Like a mom and pop shop, right? It runs so that it's a lifestyle business, and maybe it has a lot more juice on the other end of it. But what's really happening is everything has become an equity kind of they're looking to pump the gas all the time and get 10 more percent, 10 more percent, 10 more percent, quarter after quarter. And it's untenable. You have to have some restraint in the profiteering. So mergers and acquisitions means that somebody with an equity stake comes on board and says, I'm going to buy the whole damn operation. Somebody who says, I'm tired of this, they sell out. And then you get fewer options, you get fewer screenings, higher prices, lower quality overall. And people suffer from lack of choice, and they just go, oh God, okay, I'm going to this. Or they just don't go.
Right, exactly. By the way, this is funny because it references the before times.
Oh, that's funny. So when North American sales regularly climbed to 10.5 billion to 11 billion, those returns would rank as the best post-pandemic stretch. 2024 wound up at 8.7, while 2023 was 9.4, still down from the before times. Yeah. So do you really think that this is going to bump it up? So hold on. Let's see. This is our last article. So,
well, and the other problem we've discussed in other continuity report shows is they're doing a lot of big budget films, so they have to have massive ticket sales to really consider it a worthwhile return. But I also think they're doing a lot of the same franchises, etc., which at some point the audiences are like, I want something new.
So that's interesting. So Jurassic World, which is a release date from 10 years ago, made lifetime gross, is that right? Only 650 million.
That's a lot for that time frame, so probably.
So I don't quite see how this is going to get us to $10 billion.
No, I don't either. You're going to have something like a new Frozen or something to even remotely approach that.
And
I don't mean for that movie, but I mean just to kickstart all this.
Wicked, as of January 2025, has only grossed 700 million, and it was like out of the park, right?
Right, but so how many of those are you going to have, right? Probably not.
I think Superman's going to flame out. Wicked for Good is going to chase the provenance of Wicked. Avatar Fire and Ash is chasing the provenance of the previous avatars. And that's probably the what do you want to call it? The grossest.
The grossiest of the gross.
The grossiest, yeah. Hold on. Let's see. I'm trying to find the money. Yeah, so Avatar probably has the closest chance of getting into the multiple billion. So
Yeah, that one has quite a following, so I could see that. Particularly if they, well, I guess on this one they're not going to put Anya in, like we were just talking about.
right. So this is Avatar: Fire and Ash is coming out at the end of the year. So the economy and people's spirit has to survive that far, and that means the North American, just the money from North America, never broke $1 billion in box office gross. Worldwide, it hit 3 million for the original to date, and 2.3 billion for Avatar: The Way of Water. So that's all you're looking at here, right?
Right. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't quite see it either, but I guess we're in for the ride because we put the show together and we really like talking about this kind of stuff. So we hope you do too. Come and hang out with us.
We don't want the death of Hollywood, but I think movie theaters versus streaming are a different matter.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't want the movie theaters to die either, but I do want them balkanized. I don't want them owned by only juggernauts. I want more choice. I want more options. I don't want to only have to go to a movie theater to see these movies. And not all, I mean, all of these movies will probably be playing at the same time, you know. What else is actually playing? And I want the ticket prices to be lower. You want people to go into the movie theaters, you're going to have to lower prices. The only reason why they have record ticket revenue is because they've been raising the prices.
Right, and most people can't really afford to go to the movies, particularly when they can probably buy the movie for the same price and then watch it multiple times.
Yeah, you can't go to a movie with 5 people. You know, that is the nuclear family, right?
Well, that's the other thing, right? You know, at your home, you could have multiple people watch it, but you're only buying it once, right? You're not buying multiple tickets, which have gotten pretty exorbitant.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can't wait for Zootopia 2. I think that'll be a fun watch. I'm going to end up watching Mission Impossible simply because I've watched every other episode of it or movie. Jurassic World, I actually lost touch.
Plus, you have to see the most dangerous stunt, right?
Yeah, I do want to see that. I still think that he's jumping from one biplane to another.
Maybe. We'll have to watch.
Jurassic World, I fell out of touch with that. I'm like, oh, it's the same old thing. Dinosaurs going crazy. Zootopia 2 is just going to be fun. Just absolutely fun. Avatar is just ginormous. It's basically like a Dune knockoff kind of a thing, but instead of everything being dry, it's moist. $10.5 billion to $11 billion, though?
I don't know. Zootopia 2 could knock it out of the park. I mean, it's not going to obviously make that much, but Zootopia was a big hit.
They also talk about other movies in this. The whole lineup is incredible. Westmark says in just July, there's Jurassic World, Superman, Fantastic Four. I don't think Fantastic Four is going to do anything. They've never been able to manifest Fantastic Four in any real way that's compelling to watch. There's always some weird teen angsty kind of whatever. And oddly enough, it's from a middle-aged dude, which is, I don't know. I can't bond to any of that. And then it says, will a Minecraft movie in April be the next Super Mario level smash, or will the Jack Black-led adventure join the litany of failed video game adaptations? The thing about Minecraft is that there isn't anything there, unless...
No, but I think a lot of kids will go to see that movie.
Yeah, I do too. But then the moment that kids find out that it's just a flame-out money grab, they're going to be brutal about it. But we'll see what Jack Black can bring to it. Nobody's going to go see Michael. Let's see what else. I don't know.
Bohemian Rhapsody, possibly, depending on how it's done.
I think that's already out.
Sorry. I thought that was like a new adaptation or something.
Or the Back to Black. They talk about a bunch of different things. Captain America, Brave New World in February. I don't know. I haven't seen anything about it other than People are kind of saying, followed by Thunderbolts, which, again, Thunderbolts has an asterisk next to it because, as we talked about last week, that asterisk means that the Avengers aren't available.
Right.
And the Avengers are burnt out. I think that we've got superhero, what do they call that? Superhero fatigue. Yeah. But then they say, but wait, there's more. And they talk about other things. You can go over and check out the rest of this article. I just don't think that movie theaters are going to recover to pre-pandemic because people have uplifted their stuff. And the only way, like all of their equipment, right? They got a better TV, they got better internet, they got better equipment.
I mean, that's what happened during the pandemic.
Yeah. And the only way that you're going to get it is by forcing the hand of people by going, we're not going to release this into streaming for 6 months.
That's the only way people are going to go see it. Make it unavailable or mostly unavailable or drastically reduce ticket prices.
Yep. That's the way I see it too. But there's a lot of money in the system, so who knows? Maybe the wealthiest of people are going to sit there and go and watch these movies. Yeah, I won't be, but that's okay. Anyway, we're going to, I don't know how do we want to do this? We're going to go back to the...
Fling ourselves from one biplane to another?
There we go. We're going to jump out of one biplane and land in the continuity report over at ohmtown.com, where you can go and hang out and check out all of the stuff that we're talking about too. Anyway, I am Mayor Watt, and I'm saying bye, and I'm taking the AI with me.
Bye-bye, hometown citizens. Thanks for joining us for this week's The Continuity Report. Stay tuned tomorrow for another weekend edition.
See you soon. Bye-bye.